What if the only thing standing between the woman you are today and the powerful, balanced, and energized woman you are destined to be isn't a lack of talent or ambition? What if it's simply a lack of a system, a code? For years, I've seen countless brilliant women held back not by their potential, but by the chaos of a life without a blueprint. Today, we decode that blueprint. Welcome to Stoic Dating Code. My name is Julian. As a performance coach and researcher who works with some of the world's top executives, surgeons, and creatives, I've had a front row seat to greatness. And in my work, I discovered a profound truth. The most formidable women, the ones who operate at the highest levels of excellence, all run on a similar internal operating system. They share a code. I've spent years synthesizing this code, but its foundation was most perfectly illuminated to me by one particular case study. A brilliant medical doctor working in London. Her daily routine was a masterclass in elegant efficiency, a perfect fusion of scientific principles and profound self-awareness. Today, I am sharing her powerful 8-part system with you. This is for the women in my audience who are building their own empires, navigating the beautiful chaos of an ambitious life. If you are committed to becoming the architect of your own world, subscribe to this channel. We are all about building a code for an exceptional life here. The first principle, the absolute foundation upon which every high-performing woman builds her life, is proactive clarity. I learned this from the doctor. She understood that you cannot win a battle you walk into blind. In a world that constantly demands your attention, clarity is your greatest weapon. The modern ambitious woman is drowning in information, responsibilities, and mental clutter. This is where the doctor's two-step method becomes a lifesaver, a technique I now prescribe to all my female clients. It begins with a ritual she called a brain dump. For 15 uninterrupted minutes, she would externalize every single thought onto a blank page. Every project deadline, every patient chart, every grocery list item, every nagging worry, every brilliant idea. It all flowed out of her head and onto the paper. This isn't just journaling. It's a strategic cognitive exercise. It leverages a psychological principle called the Zeigarnik effect, our brain's tendency to obsess over unfinished tasks. By writing everything down, you are signaling to your brain that these items are captured and can be released from its active memory. The result is an immediate sense of calm and mental space, a quiet canvas upon which you can design your day. Once her mind was clear, she would organize the chaos using the Eisenhower matrix. This simple grid, dividing tasks into what's urgent, important, both, or neither, is like a GPS for your priorities. She had her goals, excelling in her medical career, maintaining her health, nurturing her relationships. What are yours? This matrix forces you to distinguish between motion and action. Many of my clients come to me feeling busy but not productive. That's because they live in the quadrant of urgent but not important. The endless emails, the notifications, the small fires that feel critical in the moment but don't move the needle on their long-term vision. The doctor spent her time in the quadrant of important but not urgent. This is the zone of genius, of deep work, of true growth. By mastering this planning ritual, she wasn't just managing tasks, she was architecting her life with intention. The second principle is foundational vitality. In my coaching practice, the most common complaint I hear is, "I'm too exhausted to work out." The doctor had a radical reframe for this. She had a mantra, "I don't have time not to exercise." This is the mindset of the top 1%. She, and every successful woman I've studied, doesn't see exercise as a luxury or a chore. They see it as an essential, non-negotiable component of their mental and emotional operating system. The science is irrefutable, and as a physician, she understood it intimately. Intense physical activity triggers the release of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF. Think of this as a miracle fertilizer for your brain. It supports the growth of new neurons and strengthens the connections between existing ones. This directly translates to enhanced memory, sharper focus, and an improved ability to learn, critical assets in any competitive field. Furthermore, exercise is the most powerful tool for emotional regulation. It helps to manage the stress hormone, cortisol, which when chronically elevated leads to burnout, anxiety, and brain fog, symptoms that plague so many ambitious women. A morning workout doesn't deplete your energy for the day, it multiplies it by creating a more efficient, resilient, and focused brain. It is an investment that pays immediate and long-term dividends in your cognitive performance and your overall well-being. The third, and perhaps most nuanced principle, is what I call ritualized self-respect. Now, as a coach, I'm not going to prescribe a specific skincare routine, but I am going to reveal the powerful psychological strategy that was at the heart of the doctor's pamper and prep routine. I observed that her self-care was not haphazard. It was a scheduled, streamlined ritual. She would dry brush her skin, use a specific anti-dandruff shampoo that research suggests can promote hair growth, apply a salicylic acid toner, and moisturize with a hyaluronic acid product. But the power was not in the specific products. It was in the ritual itself. This was a non-negotiable scheduled act of signaling to herself on a deep subconscious level that she was worthy of her own time, care, and attention. In a world that constantly pulls at women to serve others, this act of turning that care inward is a radical act of self-prioritization. It builds a foundational layer of self-worth that becomes the bedrock of her confidence. It's a quiet declaration that says, "I value myself, therefore I will care for myself." This is a principle I urge all my clients to adopt. What is your non-negotiable act of self-respect? It could be a 5-minute skincare routine, the act of putting on an outfit that makes you feel powerful, or simply brewing a special cup of tea. Share it in the comments below. Your ritual could be the inspiration someone else needs today. The fourth principle is a defining characteristic of every top performer I've ever met: a commitment to active intellectual growth. The doctor told me that she used to unwind during her routines by watching reality TV shows like Love Island. It was a passive escape, but she made a conscious, strategic switch. She replaced passive consumption with active learning. That time became her university. This is a critical distinction. Passive consumption, mindless scrolling, binge-watching shows, often leaves us feeling drained and lethargic. Active learning, listening to an audiobook, taking an online course, engaging with a challenging podcast, energizes the brain. It fosters neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to form new connections and adapt. It keeps you sharp, innovative, and ahead of the curve. It's the difference between mental stagnation and mental evolution. A tool she used for this, and one I highly recommend, is Skillshare. It's an incredible online learning community where you can access thousands of classes taught by industry-leading experts on virtually any topic. She was taking a class on creative confidence to overcome her inner critic. My CEO clients use it to brush up on their data analysis skills. My artist clients use it to master a new creative software. It's about turning your idle moments, your commute, your morning routine, your lunch break into opportunities for growth. Skillshare has kindly sponsored this video, and they're giving the first 500 people to use the link in my description a 1-month free trial. Make the switch from consumer to learner. It is a decision that will compound in value for the rest of your life. The fifth principle is the mastery of your energy, specifically the cultivation of calm, focused energy. Our culture glorifies the hustle, which is often fueled by massive amounts of coffee. This creates a jittery, anxious, and ultimately unsustainable energy that leads to a crash. The doctor, like many of the most composed high achievers I know, made a different choice on her days of deep focus: matcha. And the choice is strategic and scientific. Matcha provides a caffeine boost, but it's delivered in a unique package. It is rich in an amino acid called L-theanine, which works in synergy with the caffeine to induce a state of calm alertness. It promotes the generation of alpha waves in the brain, the same brain waves present during meditation and states of creative flow. The result is a smooth, sustained elevation in focus and energy without the anxiety, jitters, or subsequent crash of coffee. It's a lesson in working smarter, not just harder. It's about choosing the quality of your energy with the same intention you choose how to spend your time. This brings us to the sixth and most profound principle, the emotional core of this entire operating system, the mastery of inner resilience. One of the single greatest obstacles I see my female clients face is the imposter syndrome, that persistent, nagging inner voice of doubt that tells you you're a fraud and you don't deserve your success. The doctor's personal story about this was one of the most powerful lessons I've ever encountered. She shared with me that for years she hesitated to add the doctor title to her public profiles. She had earned it through nearly a decade of relentless work, yet her immediate reaction to the idea was one of visceral repulsion. Her mind was flooded with the classic imposter narrative. Who do you think you are? You're not good enough. People will think you're arrogant. This internal battle is a silent reality for so many brilliant women. But instead of succumbing to it, she used it as a diagnostic tool. She recognized that voice for what it was, a programmed pattern of self-doubt, not a reflection of reality. Her tool for combating this in real time was the midday reset. Whenever that voice of anxiety or doubt began to rise, she would not engage it in a fight. She would simply pause. For 5 minutes, she would practice mindfulness, focusing on her breath. This simple act is a neurological reset button. It lowers cortisol and activates the prefrontal cortex, bringing your rational mind back online. It allowed her to observe the voice of the imposter without identifying with it, and ultimately to choose to act from a place of self-worth. She added the title. It was a declaration of her own value. If you have ever felt that crippling voice of doubt, hit the like button. Acknowledge that you are not alone in this fight, and know that you are infinitely more powerful than that voice. The seventh principle is the establishment of impenetrable boundaries through a ritual of deliberate disconnection. Burnout is an epidemic among ambitious women, often because they carry a disproportionately heavy mental load, and the boundaries between work and life become hopelessly blurred. The doctor understood that your ability to perform at a high level tomorrow is directly dependent on your ability to truly recover today. To achieve this, she had a non-negotiable shutdown ritual. At the end of her workday, a specific set of actions would signal to her brain that it was time to disengage. Closing the laptop, organizing her desk, changing her clothes, these small acts created a powerful psychological transition. It prevented the work-related thoughts and anxieties from bleeding into her personal time, allowing her brain and nervous system to enter a state of genuine rest and repair. This isn't a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strategic intelligence. The most successful women don't just work hard, they rest hard. Finally, the eighth principle. The one that answers the question, why? Why all this structure? Why all this discipline? The principle of meaningful connection. I see so many high achievers build incredible careers but find themselves in an empire of one, feeling isolated and unfulfilled. The doctor's code was different. The entire purpose of her highly structured, disciplined life was to create more space and energy for what truly mattered: deep, present connection with the people she loved. When she was with someone, she was fully there, not distracted by her phone, not mentally running through her to-do list. This presence is the greatest gift you can give another person. It's also a gift to yourself. Meaningful social connection is a powerful antidote to stress, releasing oxytocin, the love hormone, which fosters feelings of happiness and well-being. This is the ultimate purpose of the code. You build a fortress of discipline not to isolate yourself, but to become a source of strength, calm, and presence for those who matter most. So, this is the code, 8 principles, synthesized from the life of a remarkable woman and validated across my work with the world's top performers. From proactive clarity to foundational vitality, from ritualized self-respect to active intellectual growth, from calm energy to inner resilience, from deliberate disconnection to meaningful connection. This is more than a routine. It is a blueprint for a life of excellence, balance, and deep fulfillment. It is the code of a truly high-value woman, the architect of her own extraordinary life. Thank you for your time and your focus. If you found value in this blueprint, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And now, perhaps you'd like to dive deeper into building your own inner citadel, or maybe you'd prefer to watch this video, which has been selected just for you. I will see you in the next one.